Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido and today we are coming in from Hammerlock City where the Dragonids are hosting the Mahogany Explorers, and these two sides faced off only 2 short weeks ago, but this time whoever loses this matchup they will be eliminated from Victory Road, but whoever wins this preliminary final will move themselves into the Champions game to face the Medali Aethers, and it was the Dragonids who absolutely obliterated the Explorers. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this time. Will it be the Dragon types? Will it be the Ice types? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
It is going to be Baxcalibur starting out with Cloyster, as immediately goes with the Horn Leech, which is not very effective on Haxorus, who is joined by Altaria Haxorus with the Bubble Beam that is resisted by Cloyster, allowing the Ice Water type to go with the payback, but it is going for Altaria, who does respond with a Misty Explosion. Well, that's one way to start this match off with a bang, as that is super effective on its own teammate, doing massive damage to Haxorus. Baxcalibur is actually able to handle the move quite well, being a part Dragon type itself, but it is Goodra in its Collision form coming out for the Dragonids, and immediately in response it is the Stuffed Cheeks now from Baxcalibur, boosting that physical defense a great deal, as well as restoring the PP that it's already used in this matchup. But it is on the receiving end of a Blast Burn from Haxorus, getting in some great damage there, but that Thermal Exchange ability comes into play, giving a physical attack boost now to Baxcalibur, as the Magma Storm from Cloyster onto Goodra is going to be resisted, being not very effective there, but it does trap it in that swirling magma that will continue to do passive damage. But Goodra with the Mist Ball going for Cloyster gets the elimination, trying to cut off that Magma Storm successfully and leveling the playing field in doing so, as Lapras comes out for the Mahogany Explorers, another Water Ice type. The Nightshade from Baxcalibur, that consistent damage onto Haxorus, immediately puts the Mahogany Explorers back in front. They're already off to a better start than the last time these two sides matched up, but it is the round from Goodra, doing a little bit of chip damage to Lapras, who is going to go with the Bullet Seed, this multi-hit move. But again, the Dragons absolutely dominated the Mahogany Explorers in the qualifying final only 2 weeks ago, clean sweeping the series. The Explorers need to take down the Dragonids 2 times, and we know they can do it. They did it earlier in this season, as now out comes Archaladon to join Goodra. Baxcalibur though immediately meets it with the Chloroblast. Archaladon tanks that move, but the recoil damage is going to take Baxcalibur out of this match. And this allows Archaladon to follow it up with the Dragon Breath onto Lapras, that is going to leave it with that paralysis, so this will slow it down, but more importantly it may also make it unable to move. Goodra looking to follow it up goes with the Infestation, that will be doing that passive damage, afflicting Lapras with that Infestation, but it responds with the Dragon Hammer onto Archaladon, not actually doing that much damage. And there it is, that Infestation, that chilling noise starting to do damage there to Lapras, who is now joined by Cryogonal. Immediately Cryogonal is going to go with the Gravity, which is a very questionable play, because that is going to bring itself down to the ground, because it has that Levitate ability. It is no longer immune to ground type moves, and it will be on the receiving end of a Bulldoze from Archaladon that also does damage to its own teammate Goodra, but it does damage to Lapras as well, lowering all 3 of those Pokemon's speed in the process. And Goodra is going to go with the Thrash to follow up. Cryogonal barely hangs on by a thread, but Lapras is unable to move due to the paralysis. This is great for the Dragonids. This is them starting to build that momentum, as the Infestation puts Lapras into knockout range. Archaladon is going to go with the Brave Bird to get that easy elimination of Cryogonal, putting the Hammerlock Dragonids in front. There is that recoil damage for Archaladon, but Goodra with the Thrash completes the huge play, and this is what the Dragonids did 2 weeks ago. They were in full control of the Mahogany Explorers. It is Sneasler, the Terrestrial Drafty, coming out for the Explorers with that pressure ability being exerted. It is joined by Avalugg in its Collision form, but you have to think it is the Explorers feeling that pressure, as the Dragons were able to dominate them 2 weeks ago. They're looking to do that here again in this best of 3 series to get themselves into that Champions game. And Sneasler and Goodra were previously a part of the same side last season, as that Poison Powder will not affect Archaladon. It is immune, allowing Archaladon to respond with the Accelerock, super effective there onto Sneasler, and that Thrash continues from Goodra onto Avalugg, as Goodra is now going to be left confused due to the fatigue of thrashing about Avalugg looking to follow, respond, so he goes with the Barb Barrage, but they continue to go for these poison type moves onto Archaludon as Sneasler with the Vice Grip. This is going to be resisted by Archaludon with that Steel typing coming into play. It is going to respond with the Spore, which puts Avalugg to sleep, leaving Sneasler to have to do all the work as they have the last 2 Pokemon remaining for the Explorers here in Game 1. Now Goodra needs to shake off this confusion, and it is successful in doing so, allowing it to go for the Guillotine, but that is going to be avoided by the sleeping Avalugg, somehow getting out of the way as it is fast asleep, snoring away down there on the field. Sneasler, however, is going to go for another Poison Powder, and once again it goes for Archaludon. Now Goodra was the Poison type Terrestrial draftee last season, so it knows how to handle that poisoning, but there Archaludon is able to put Sneasler into knockout range, and Goodra has snapped out of that confusion, going for the Overheat to eliminate Avalugg from this matchup, lowering its special attack in the process, but Sneasler is all by itself and it is in knockout range. This is terrible for the Explorers as gravity returns to normal. It looks like the same thing is happening all over again. The Mach Punch from Sneasler puts Goodra into knockout range, gets in some impressive damage with that move, but this allows Archaludon to go with the easy Aqua Cutter, getting that critical play for good measure to eliminate Sneasler, and just like that, the Hammerlock Draconids are continuing their domination over the Explorers, taking Game 1 once again. And as the field does reset, the Draconids are going to be starting out with Cyclizar, who had a fantastic showing against the Explorers last time. It's joined by Flygon. It is Mamoswine and Beartic starting out for the Explorers. The Powder Snow from Cyclizar is going to be resisted here by Beartic. That ground typing of Mamoswine though prevents it from being so. The Heal Bell from Flygon, that bell does chime, but there is no status condition on Cyclizar, so it is going to fail as Mamoswine, looking to capitalize, goes with the Petal Blizzard, doing damage to everybody on the field. And Beartic follows it up with the Dark Void, but there is this Dark Presence preventing it from being able to use that move, and Cyclizar looking to capitalize, goes with the Guard Split, focusing in there onto Beartic, sharing the guard between the two, and Flygon is going to follow it up by going with the Smackdown, laying that Smackdown onto Mamoswine. However, the Ice Ground type does go with the Harden, so it is going to boost that 80 base physical defense, and Beartic is going to go with the Mud Slap on to Cyclizar, which is going to lower its accuracy. It doesn't do much damage, but if it cannot land hits, that will be crucial as it goes for the Mist Ball, and this is going to connect with Mamoswine, getting some great damage there as well. And Flygon looking to follow it up, goes with the Razor Shell. This will be super effective, and Mamoswine is able to hang on, but barely, as it responds with the Stomping Tantrum, but that Levitate ability of Flygon makes it immune to ground type moves. Beartic, however, looking to do its part, goes with the Supercell Slam, getting in some good damage there for a not very effective move onto Cyclizar, who does respond with the Brick Break, but that is avoided by Mamoswine, which surely would have gotten the elimination. Flygon looking to do its part though, will get the Trop Kick to get that first elimination here in Game 2, as the Draconids look to take this matchup and move themselves into that Champions game. The Aromatic Mist from Beartic is going to fail, as it is now being joined by Sir Titan. Cyclizar with that speed control goes for the Tail Whip. It is going to lower... Sorry, it will not lower the defenses of Sir Titan. It is able to avoid that move, but Beartic, not so fortunate, having its defenses lowered, and the Mist now from Flygon there on the field, shrouding the Draconids in that mist, as Sir Titan is going to go with the Air Cutter, connecting with both dragons, but unfortunately not much damage being done, as Beartic follows it up with the Power Gem onto Cyclizar, and they have gotten Cyclizar off the field, who had a fantastic showing, as we said, against the Explorers only 2 weeks ago, and it is now Iron Juggers coming out for the Hammerlock Draconids, that Terrestrial draftee who has been having a great season taking on this Dragon type in. Now the Explorers need to win here to take this to a Game 3. The Draconids win, and they know they will have locked up their spot, as the Hypnosis from Iron Jugulis is going to be avoided by Beartic. Flygon, however, with the Sacred Fire, super effective, taking Beartic out of this matchup, putting the Draconids back in front. So Titan needs to go for something, goes with the final Gambit, and it is a one-hit wonder. So Titan has just given itself up to take Iron Jugulis out of this matchup, seeing it as a massive threat, but with that, the Draconids still have the advantage at that 4v3, and it is now Archaludon with that Stamina ability coming out for the Hammerlock Draconids. It's Cloyster coming out for the Explorers, being joined by that Collision Avalugg. Flygon with the speed control is going to set up the Psychic Terrain on the field, so the battlefield is going to get just a little bit weird but Explorers need to be careful of that stamina that our Chaladon has, as it is going to go for the Rock Wrecker onto Avalok. Super effective, getting in some massive damage there. However, Cloyster does look to respond by setting up the shelter, so it is going to boost its defense a great deal, and it is already base 180. The overheat though from Avalok is avoided by Flygon, allowing the Dragon ground type to go with the beat up, this multi-hit move. There are 4 Pokemon remaining for the Dragon, so it is going to connect 4 times, and Cloyster, having boosted that defense, one of the few Pokemon in the PokeType League with a higher physical defense than it is Avalok. It's got base 184, as our Chaladon has to recharge the Energy Ball from Cloyster on to our Chaladon. Not very effective, doing very little damage, and there is that stamina boost now beginning to come into play. It's got 130 base defense as Avalok with the Supersonic. And it does target our Chaladon there. This could be very clever, because if they can get our Chaladon to eliminate itself, that is one way to get it off the field. Flygon is going to go and set up with the Meteor Beam, so it is going to begin overflowing with this Space Power. Again, that special attack boost in the process. And our Chaladon needs to shake off this confusion, or otherwise it will be doing damage to itself. However, it is successful. It's going with the Drill Peck, going for Cloyster there. Not much damage being done, as Cloyster is going to respond with the Imprison. This is what the Draconids did to take down the Explorers 2 weeks ago, and now Cloyster has just set up the Matcha Gotcha from Avalok. That is going to be avoided by our Chaladon. It is going to connect with Flygon. Not much damage, but a little bit of health being restored for Avalok. But this is fantastic for the Explorers. They are using the exact strategy that the Draconids used to dominate the Explorers, but before that can happen, the Meteor Beam will be finished off by Flygon to eliminate Avalok from this matchup. Now, it was very clever of Cloyster to boost that defense, as our Chaladon has snapped out of its confusion, going with the struggle, and it does practically nothing to Cloyster. There is the recoil damage for our Chaladon. Cloyster, looking to capitalize, goes with the Crush Grip on to Flygon, getting in some good damage, and it is going to be Baxcalibur coming out for the Explorers. If this goes into a game 3, we know our Chaladon and Baxcalibur will not be appearing. That this is the second time they have appeared, but Flygon is eliminated due to the recoil of the struggle. Baxcalibur with the Amnesia, it's going to boost its special defense. It needs to boost that physical defense, as our Chaladon is struggling here on the field. Again, they need to get Cloyster off the field. The Draconids are still in front, so they're still actually in this, but Cloyster is going for the Spatial Rend, putting our Chaladon into knockout range. One more recoil damage will take it out of this matchup, regardless of that stamina boost, as the Psychic Terrain does disappear from the field, and out for the Draconids it is going to be Haxorus. And although it can break that mold, it needs to break the seal from the imprisonment. The Hyper Voice from Baxcalibur is going to eliminate our Chaladon from this matchup, and just like that, it is now a 2v2 matchup. The Explorers have gone in with a great strategy to take this to a game 3, but Cloyster just needs to hang on from these struggles from the Draconids, who are taking the recoil damage. Cloyster with the Zen Headbutt, they're keeping on the offensive as well, getting some good damage there on to Haxorus, as out comes Altaria for the Draconids, and is on the receiving end of the Echoed Voice, doing very little there from Baxcalibur. But Haxorus is going to struggle, and it makes the mistake of going for Baxcalibur, and that recoil damage is going to eliminate Haxorus from this matchup. Altaria is all by itself. Cloyster is going to go with the Supercell Slam, capitalizing there on that part flying type of Altaria, who is going to struggle there, going for Baxcalibur, that recoil damage. And just like this, the Mahogany Explorers have used that Imprison strategy that was so good for the Draconids, as that Guillotine is avoided by Altaria. It was so useful for the Draconids that the Explorers are using it themselves to take this to a game 3. The rivalry that is building between these two sides in the early stages of the PokeType League is fantastic, as now Altaria, due to the recoil damage, is in knockout range. The Magic Powder from Baxcalibur is going to change it to a Psychic type Pokemon. Cloyster can finish it off here, goes with the Speed Swap instead. They're going to let Altaria be eliminated by the struggle. They are taking this to a game 3, and both these sides have now defeated each other this season with an Imprison strategy. But the Mahogany Explorers are looking to go into the Champions game here, leveling the playing field. And this game 3, the field has been reset. Whoever wins moves on. Whoever loses is going to be our 3rd member of the Elite Four. It's Mamoswine and Beartick starting out for the Explorers. It's Cyclozite and Flygon starting out for the Draconids. The Fury Swipes from Cyclozite is going to be avoided by Beartic Flygon, however, does follow it up with the Steel Roller, and that is also going to fail as the Dragon is starting out with the same team as last game. The Power Whip from Mamoswine, getting some great damage for a not very effective move there onto Cyclizar, and Beartic follows it up with the Petal Dance onto Flygon, capitalizing on that Park Ground typing. Cyclizar is going to respond though with the low kick, putting Beartic into knockout range with that super effective move. Flygon could finish it off. It goes with the Endeavor, instead getting some great damage onto Mamoswine, who is going to go and set up the Misty Terrain, and this is going to weaken Dragon type moves, so the Draconids cannot capitalize on any stab boosts. And that Petal Dance is continuing. This time going for Cyclizar from Beartic. Cyclizar, however, is going to go with the Jaw Lock to eliminate Beartic from this matchup. The Draconids taking the early lead in Game 3, and again, we know how well Cyclizar likes to play against the Explorers. The Double Edge putting Mamoswine into knockout range by Flygon there, who does take a bit of recoil damage. Mamoswine, however, is going to go and set up for the Meteor Beam. It is such an easy target. This is a risky play as it's overflowing with that Space Power. We saw this earlier from Flygon, that special attack boost, as now out comes Cryogonal for the Mahogany Explorers, and Cyclizar is going to go for the Yawn, as Mamoswine is going to grow a little bit drowsy. It's trying to aim this Meteor Beam, but Cyclizar is going to go for the workup first, so it is going to get that physical attack boost as well as the special attack boost. Flygon needs to go for Mamoswine. It goes with the Psychic Noise, but it goes for Cryogonal, who will be prevented from healing, but Mamoswine will not be prevented from going for this Meteor Beam, and it looks like it's going for Cyclizar. It's able to focus, get the connection, and it gets the elimination with a critical play, leveling the playing field here in Game 3. And once again, it is Iron Jugulars coming out for the Hammerlock Draconids. The Explorers did well to take it out so quickly in Game 2. The Iron Jugulars needs to have an impact. We know how good it can be for the Hammerlock Draconids. It is a big risk going up against the Explorers. Cryogonal with the Razor Shell, again capitalizing on that Park Ground typing of Flygon, puts it into knockout range. The Bleak Wind Storm from Iron Jugulars is avoided by Cryogonal, but my Mamoswine cannot get out of the way. It is eliminated. The Hammerlock Draconids have just put themselves back in front. Flygon is going to follow it up with the Dragon Cheer, and the Dragons are getting pumped right here in Hammerlock, as that could be a very critical play, helping out Iron Jugulars. Cryogonal is no longer prevented from healing, as out comes Sneasler, exerting that pressure over the Draconids. Again, Sneasler and Cryogonal have been a fantastic duo this season. The Draconids need to separate them quickly, as Sneasler could be taking on this Terrestrial form for the last time this season. It will either be it or Iron Jugulars. We are seeing them take this form again for the last time. Sneasler with the speed control goes for the Poison Jab though, immediately gets the elimination of Flygon with that not very effective move. The playing field once again level here in Game 3. Cryogonal follows it up with the Headbutt, getting some good damage onto Iron Jugulars, but Iron Jugulars responds with the Withdraw. It is going to boost that 86 physical defense, as the Mist now does disappear from the battlefield, and it is going to be Goodra, that Collusion Goodra, former teammates of Sneasler. Sneasler with the Power Trick though, it's going to switch its attack and defense. It's got a base 130 attack, that could be very questionable, as Cryogonal going with the Flame Wheel on the Iron Jugulars, absolutely tanking that move, allowing Iron Jugulars to respond with the Poison Powder of all moves onto Sneasler. Sneasler was unable to get a Poison Powder off in Game 1, and now it's on the receiving end of it, as Goodra is going to go with the Absorb onto its former teammate. Both these sides, both those Pokemon have Champions game experience, and they're looking to lead their side into this season. The Aurora Beam though from Sneasler, capitalizing on its newfound Ice type, and super effective onto Goodra, but Goodra absolutely tanks that move, and Cryogonal follows it up with the Cross Poison, getting some good damage down to Iron Jugulars, who does respond with the Nuzzle, going for Cryogonal there, leaving it with that Paralysis. That is going to slow it down. It may also make it unable to move. Goodra with the follow-up, going with the Swords Dance. It is going to boost that 100 physical attack a great deal, as Sneasler is feeling the effects of that poisoning. And Sneasler is going to go and set up the Substitute, so it puts that Substitute Doll out in play. This will not prevent it from feeling the effects of that poisoning though, as Iron Jugulars is going to go with the Scale Shot, now capitalizing on its Dragon type, and it does go for Cryogonal. gets that critical play on the first one, connects with the second. If it gets a critical hit here on the third, it only gets 2 though. Croconaw is still in this matchup as the defense for Iron Jugulis does get lowered at boosted speed. Goodra, however, could go for the easy elimination. Instead, it goes for the Magnet Rise, so it's going to begin to levitate thanks to that electromagnetism. And Croconaw knows all about levitating, but it also is unable to move due to that paralysis, as that poison is well chipping away at the health of Sneasler. And Iron Jugulis is going to go with the Leaf Storm, trying to get Croconaw off the field, and it is successful, putting the Hammerlock Draconids back in front, lowering its own special attack a great deal in the process, however. And we are going to get the guard swap now from Sneasler, focusing in on its fellow Terrastal draftee, switching all the changes to their defense and special defense. And the Fiery Dance from Goodra would normally take Sneasler out, but that substitute goal is in play, so that substitute is going to take the damage and it is going to fade away. Sneasler will be reappearing on the field, but it is still taking damage from that poisoning that now puts it into knockout range. And out for the Explorers, it is Sir Titan coming onto the field. Iron Jugulis with the Temper Flare immediately meeting it though. Super effective, but it still doesn't do that much damage thanks to that thick fat Sneasler with the Absorb, taking a little bit of health from Iron Jugulis, but not enough as it is such an easy target. Its former teammate Goodra could surely take it out, but first the Titan is going to go with the Swallow, but it hasn't gone for the stockpile, so that is going to fail. This opens the door for Goodra to capitalize. It goes with the Crunch, and it takes out its former teammate, hoping to end its season here as well. I'm sure there is great respect between the two, having now both been Terrastal Pokemon, as out comes Lapras, the last Pokemon for the Mahogany Explorers. Iron Jugulis immediately meets it with the Lash Out, getting some great damage on the Water Ice type. So Titan, however, responds with the Bug Bite, putting Iron Jugulis into knockout range, stealing its Leopard Berry in the process, proceeding to chow down and enjoy a mid-match snack. But it is Goodra who is going to go with the Mist. The Draconids have a 4-2 advantage as they look to lock up Game 3 and move into the Champions game. The Ice Fang, however, from Lapras, super effective onto Goodra, and it eliminates it from this matchup. I do not think Lapras cares about the gooey ability. It's already the slowest on the field. As now out for the Draconids, it is that Alolan Exeggutor. The first time we've actually seen it in this series. The Whirlwind from Iron Jugulis is going to fail. There's no more bench for the Explorers to go back to. So Titan with the Sucker Punch, that's also going to fail. There are no suckers on the side of the Draconids, but there is an Exeggutor who's going for the Flare Blitz. Super effective again on just the Titan, but that thick fat ability prevents it from doing even more. There is the recoil damage for Exeggutor. The Night Slash from Lapras gets in some good damage there onto the Dragon Grass type, with the Pin Missile now from Iron Jugulis. This multi-hit move doing a little bit of damage. It needs to get all 5. It's got the critical play on the second. It's got 3, putting it into knockout range with that third move, that critical play as well. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as the Titan with the Rock Smash though gets in some good damage onto Exeggutor, who could go for the easy elimination. Instead, it goes for the Sweet Kiss. Now is not the time to be putting the moves on that Lapras, as Lapras is going to respond with the Clear Smog, putting Exeggutor into knockout range with that super effective move, eliminating all stat changes in the process. Iron Jugulis with the Zen Headbutt, but it goes for Lapras, not doing much damage, allowing the Titan to go with the Incinerate, and it is going to eliminate Exeggutor from this matchup with that critical play, getting a little bit of damage there onto Iron Jugulis, but it is now a level playing field. It is a 2 versus 2 matchup. Lapras goes with the Icicle Spear though, and it only needs one of that super effective move to complete the huge play. The Explorers are in the lead. We don't even know who the last Pokemon for the Draconids is, but the Explorers could be making history and moving themselves into the Champions game for the first time. But the Draconids are looking to do the same as they send out Noivern, who has speed control. It goes with the skill swap, immediately taking that thick fat ability away from Sir Titan and giving it that telepathy ability, which means that Lapras won't be able to do any damage to Sir Titan, as Sir Titan is going to go with the Attract. And what is with these guys trying to put the moves on each other? It's not going to work. Noivern is way too focused, but the Earthquake from Lapras, this will be avoided by Sir Titan thanks to the telepathy, but it will not affect Noivern because it's a part flying type. That Mist is no longer protecting the Draconids, no longer protecting Noivern, who goes with the Flail. Very little damage being done to Lapras. Sir Titan looking to capitalize, goes with the extra sensory, going on the offensive, getting that chip damage in. Lapras follows it up with the Scorching Sands. Lapras was having such a strong start in this match. Now it's going for moves that don't affect Noivern, as Noivern looks to capitalize with an Ice Punch being heavily resisted there by Lapras, allowing Sir Titan to to go with the Will-O-Wisp very intelligently burning Noivern. They're trying to burn away those impressive wings. That is also going to cut into that physical attack. Lapras follows up with the Steel Roller, but once again, that is not going to work. Noivern needs to get an elimination before that burn takes it out of this match. And it is going to go for the liquidation, but that water absorbability for Lapras comes into play for the first time in this match, getting its health restored. The circle throw from Sir Titan, not very effective. There's no bench to send Noivern back to. Lapras with the Hex. Now it is connecting with these moves, getting some good damage there as well onto Noivern. With that burn follow-up, almost putting it into knockout range. Noivern needs to go for something bigger, goes for the Fairy Wind. Very little damage being done to Lapras again. So Titan looking to capitalize, goes with the Thundershock, capitalizing on that part flying typing. Still not doing much damage, but Lapras with the Mountain Gale. The Mahogany Explorers have ended the Hammerlock Draconids season. The Draconids have become the third member of our Elite Four. We get a time warning, but it doesn't matter because the Explorers have done it. They are going into our Champions game, getting their redemption, against the Draconids. It's going to be the Medali Aethers versus the Mahogany Explorers in our Champions game. But with that said, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.